Hey, what's up? Scott Balkum here with Imagination Creation Films, and I'm hoping that the audio is working. I'm hoping everything else is working because I had to switch to a different laptop, and you know how it is. But hey, you ready? So yeah, I think we're back. I think everything's working. I hope. Let me know in the comments if audio's not getting through. Different laptop, so had to reconfigure everything. But yeah, I think we're doing good. Also, internet has been resolved. So well, I mean, if you know anything about out here, you know it's not resolved. But right now, I should be streaming full bore and dropping frames like crazy. Yeah, that's always good to see. Yep, so much for happiness and warm puppies. Let's just drop that back down. But yeah, we try, we fail, we do all kinds. At least I'm not like broadcasting at 384 kilobits like I was before. So yeah, I am back. It's Friday. It is back to live streams on Friday. I would have done this at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, my normal time, but I was uploading a video and I wanted to see if I could do this without anybody, without dropping frames. But you know. So Friday, if you are not familiar with this channel, Friday I tend to live stream unless I'm out working or out of the country or out of the state. And I interact with you. I answer your questions. I talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's your day to just kind of, pick my brain. And if I don't have the answer, I'll get the answer because that's the way I believe. But hello, hey Lois, how are you? Yeah, it's good to be back in the studio. Although my air conditioner broke, so I'm bringing air conditioning from in there, and I'm blowing a fan in here. So I've got to replace that air conditioner. It never ends. You go away for a month and you come back and stuff doesn't work. But that is life. I'll tell you what is working. The red is working beautifully, which is great. It really, really helps. Lewis, how are you doing, friend? Are you doing well? You said you were busy the other day. Are you back unbusy or about to jump in there and have some fun? Let's see, making sure I'm not dropping too many frames. Stream should look good. Do you hear audio? Hopefully you can, I'm fizz a fiddle. Perfect. That means the audio's working. I'm doing great. It is really good to be back at home. I got so many projects to wrap up and so many to work on, and then so many things for this channel to work on, and then the SP50 Cinematography Challenge. But you know what? I'm up for it. I'm feeling good about it. I really love getting out into nature and just getting that like recharge. I'm like a solar panel. I just walk out into nature, pop up, sun hits me, recharges my brain. I come back and I'm like, let's go, let's do this. And that's the way I feel right now. So yeah, I already uploaded another video for Monday, ready to go. And then I'm working on a couple of others so we can keep the channel happy and make everybody, man, did you see that? We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. That is amazingly impressive, and I do have to give a shout out to Jordy out there at CityCom for giving me a shout out on his channel. It really has been a nice little boost in subscribers, and those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to my live stream on Fridays. I try and probably will try to do 2 live streams a week, but maybe not. I'm definitely going to try to keep to this Friday one for a while. There's an echo on my sound. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Is that better? Does that sound better now that I've made that choice? I'll continue to talk and wait for the reply. There's so many audio tweaks you have to do to get laptop sound and microphone sound and everything to be in sync. And I think I had done, yeah, way better. Perfect. Yeah, it was literally 1 minute before live stream, and I thought, oh, is that supposed to be on? And I went over there and clicked something, and it wasn't supposed to be on. But hey, that is how it works. So yeah, what are you working on there, Lewis? I've been enjoying your submissions out there, and I mean, you definitely have a good eye to see things, and that is a tough thing in photography and in the world of film. I will say that to me, there are people who have an absolute natural eye. They can walk into a room and instantly know what is going to look the most perfect. Then there are people who have to scan and think about it and kind of like process in their brain, and then they eventually get it. That's me. And then there are people that just don't get it. They're not really trying. And you look like, based upon the submissions, now I don't know. I mean, you could be working like hours upon hours to get these shots, but it seems to me that you're one of those that has that eye that just walks in and goes, I want to do that. And that is a cool thing because that makes you an efficient filmmaker. That is a really cool thing. It's something that I've been working on the eye, and I think it is more like an artistic eye. Whereas mine, I'm training my brain to look for certain things that would make them artistic. Whereas some people's eyes, they just walk in, they're like, you know what, that flower in the foreground would just be sublime, and they do it. I don't know. You tell me how do you how do you approach things when you're filming? As always, I've got a few people out there that won't say hello, so I never really know how many I have. But I can tell that there's some out there because YouTube sometimes gives me that information. Are you serious? Am I dropping all these frames? This has got to stop. This is horrible. Why? I feel really bad about this. But I just tested my upload speeds, and it was 11 megabits. And here I am trying to stream at 1 megabit. Some shots freshly mown field with grass laying on it. Nice. Let's see if that helps. No, it's still. Let's see if I do this. If I switch this, it's going to have to change it. Constant bit rate. Hey, Alan. How are you, buddy? Hey, Simon. All right, so we're going to try constant bit rate. That's just dropping every frame. Wow. Why is this a thing? I feel like 50% of my live streams are just me complaining about it. I mean, it was flying. I just uploaded a 4 gig video file, and it was flying. This is horrible. Oh. Let's try that. I don't even understand. Are you kidding? Oh. I'm going to do a live speed test, so just bear with me here. It bugs me. Marie, let's see. Alan, hey, never dropping like it's cold. Yeah. Someone playing video games elsewhere now. No one's home. At least I don't think anybody's home. I mean, it was just fast. I swear. Okay, download is fast. Okay, it seems to be stabilizing now. Nope, now it's back to failing. I mean, 13 meg down. Waiting on the upload here. 13 meg is pretty fast out here. Upload is not even running. There it goes. 3, 4, 5, 5. So why am I dropping? 6. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Stream options. Guess I can't change that. Wow, I don't know. Is it, knock on wood, it seems to have stabilized after the upload kick. That was interesting. The quality is really, really low, but let's go bump that up. See what we get. And are we back to dropping? Okay, so maybe it's a glitch. Hey, we're back. Hey, all right. I'll just keep an eye on that. Y'all just drop in the comments if it starts dropping like crazy. It's so frustrating. I may move just so I can have internet. Is that first world problem or what? I don't know. Oh, now it's dropping again. No, back. Okay. Hey, Tyler, how are you, buddy? What have you been up to, Tyler? Alan, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you. Alan, you're going to be at Cinegear, right? Simon, it's been like weeks since I've seen you and almost hours since I've talked to you. We're dropping again. Come on. I can't win. I just can't win. I just want to win, but I can't win. I try, and you watch, like, my dog will come running in here and be like, hey, can you let me out? Because that's what my dog does when I live stream. Let's see here. Higher equals less. This is too fast. Let's see here. Let's see, now it's stabilized. Makes me just want to go push the limits out here. Let's go 2,500. Yep, there it goes. It takes it a minute, and it's like, oh yeah, we're going to fail on that. Let's try this. That was pretty substantial fail. What can I do for a sharper and more detailed image from my Canon 80D? So honestly, the 80D is actually a fairly sharp camera. What I would tell you is that you don't want to sharpen it in camera, but you can add sharpening in post, and it will make it sharper. You can do an unsharp mask in Premiere and just apply a little bit, and it will make it a little sharper. The 80D is already pretty sharp. I mean, typically, the way you think about things is that you can add sharpness, but you can't take it away, not naturally. If you try to take away a sharp image in post, then you're doing it with a blur, and you're just blurring it. It's not really making it pretty, but you can always add sharpening. So I always try to shoot non-sharp and add it in post if I need it. That being said, doesn't mean that sharp is a good thing. When a lot of people complain about sharpness, am I dropping? No, I'm good. Okay. A lot of people, when they complain about digital, they complain about it being so sharp and that it doesn't feel organic like film would. Film would not be very, very sharp. It would be detailed, but not necessarily sharp. So try an unsharp mask or an unsharp filter in Premiere and just add a little bit, like 25, and see what you think. But do you feel like it's that unsharp? It shouldn't be that bad. 80D is pretty sharp. Yes, it is. Truth. Okay, I'm going to keep streaming with this setting right here because that seems to be good. Let's see. Little work here and there. Went to Houston to catch an Astros game Wednesday. Yeah, how'd they do? I haven't watched the Astros in a while. I like baseball, but it's the only game where by like the seventh inning, you really do kind of want to leave. Let's go beat the rush because you've watched enough baseball. I think they need to figure out how to make it fast. Maybe bring it in a little closer, get a little more speed going on. I think that'd be cool. It says I've dropped 31% of my frames. um, Lewis, what lens are you using on your Canon 80D? I mean, lenses can affect your sharpness. There are definitely some lenses that are not sharp, but generally overall, I can usually tell an 80D right off the bat just by how sharp it is. Why? Before taking sharpness away in camera, but it looks awful and washed out on TV. Yeah. Take away the sharpness in camera. And in fact, I do that a lot. In fact, my GH5, the sharpness is set to -2 because I can always add it in later. Sharpening, once you committed it to the codec, it's brutal. It's there. So go ahead and add the sharpness back in with unsharp in post, and it should look better on your TV. Is it still dropping? What is going on? I mean, I want to pull my hair out, but I don't have any hair, so I can't really. Currently, the 18-30 135. Yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible lens. It's definitely not the top tier lens, but it's not an unsharp lens either. So, yeah, try adding sharpness in post. I think you'll be a lot happier. Hopefully, you can hear the responses here since it's dropping everything. Why? I feel like, I don't know, this is so weird. I feel like it's YouTube. Use custom buffer size. Let's do that. Let's try that. Boom. Let's see how fast this fails. It seems to be every single. Let's see. Let me look at my stream health here. Very bad output. Well, thank you. You're so helpful. Very bad output. Maybe give me a little more detail than that. It's showing I'm only uploading 1K or 1 megabit. So let's just change that to 1 then. See what we get. Still dropping like right now. It says, really? Oh man, you can't have it always. I apologize. I hate these. I really hate it when technology fails. How could it drop so much? And yet my speed seems to be, oh, my goodness. Let's see. CPU usage preset. Higher equals less CPU. Let's do ultra fast. Profile. Tune. And the only thing I can do is drop down resolution. I mean, every time I set it down, lower and lower, is it really bad? Or can you even hear anything? Is it really, really choppy? What is it? Hey, Robert. It's got to be choppy. Tell me it's choppy or not. Or is it just, I need to stop playing with this? Oh. See, now, I have it set to 500 kilobits. And it says it's streaming at 700. and dropping frames. But I'm not. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's rescale the output. I can't do that. Variable bit rate. Use custom buffer size. CRF. Let's do slower. I don't even know what to... Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop the stream and start the stream back up and see what happens. All right, let's see how that works. Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down. Okay. I will turn it down. Let's try that. There. Encode. Consider turning down for faster preset. Let's see here. Streaming. All right, let's see how this works. It may be, that's going to be really sad if that's the case. Huh. So, is that better? This is a total Scott fail right here. So I think what my problem, oh man, that is really sad if that's the case. That is really sad if that's the case. Wow. Let's just see. Let's just see. So, yeah. Oh, encoding overloaded. Settings. Let's choose fast. So I think my problem is that my CPU is not fast enough. Hey, Gerald. How are you? Hey, Gerald, I'm doing something completely new. I'm complaining about my internet. So is it, let's see, we're at 66%. Well, that is certainly high. Now I'm at 59%. Try or using a faster encoding preset. All right, let's go faster. So let's see here. Let's try that. All right, so is it working now? I mean, is at least, see, stream is working well. Yes, exactly. All right, so now, how is this? And is it clean? Is it streaming? It's using like 70% of my CPU. And it says my encoding is overloaded. And it says I'm not dropping any frames. So is it, you know what I could do? I could actually look at it myself, couldn't I? Whoa, let's go all the way to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can look at it that way and see what it says. Nope, stuttery is all get out. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to stop the streaming and start it back up. Now we're dropping frames. All right, so let's see what this does. I guess I need to learn a little bit more about OBS encoding. Or maybe this laptop just can't keep, I don't know. This is my backup laptop since my other laptop is dead. Because me and electronics. Let's see. Audio appears super clean though. Sell 1 RAV battery. Well, the batteries are not that expensive actually. I mean, the blue shapes are premium battery, so they do come at a higher price. However, what you gain with the blue shape is just pure durability. I mean, you could football this. Right now, it shows that I'm not dropping any frames, and it shows my CPU at like 40%, which I think as long as it's under 50, it should be okay. Is it cool? Is it where are we at? Let's see. Let's see. Lewis says, you asked what I did the days before. Yesterday, my dad and I we were taking some shots of the freshly mown field and grass, laying some, and then it's Bambi in English. Oh, okay. And some. Were you doing the grass just flowing, just doing that? That's typical. So now it says I'm dropping frames, but not that many. All right, I think that's. Hey Kyle, how are you? No more stuttering. Looking like about 360. Can you adjust that? Because when I click play here, which I mean, who knows where that should be coming from YouTube. It shows high resolution. What is it showing? It's showing 720. So I don't know. Now we're dropping frames like crazy. I mean, as soon as I say something, just as soon as I get happy, it. Let's try constant bit rate in there. CPU's at 30%. And it's what? Okay, well, all right. Maybe if I move wildly, it'll start dropping frames. It did. All right. I will talk like a talking head. I will not move at all. We'll see if that helps. That was laying. Oh, it was laying mode on the field. Gotcha. Okay. Buffering again. I'll post it in the group later. Very good. All right. So it appears if I just stay put like that. So maybe that's what I'm going to have to do. I've got another PC that has got far more horsepower than this. Maybe I'll just bring that in here and use that as my OBS. I've never. Yeah, I need. I don't know. Anybody good with OBS? What is the correct settings for video encoding? So I have a feeling that when it says I'm using more than 50%, it's including hyperthreading, which means there's no more than 50%. So I got to keep it below 50%, but I also don't want to drop all these frames. Yeah, Kyle, it would really be sad if I found out that it wasn't my internet ever. It was always me. I mean, how pathetic is that? I don't know. It's this whole streaming world. So definitely got a nice group of people on here. That's good. I enjoy that. Gerald, what's been going on? It's been a while since we've chatted. Robert, it's been like weeks since I've seen you. Let's see. Shows to be settled. I mean, I'm not going to say anything anymore. I have been expanding my RAID array on my main workstation. I just keep. I mean, that's the problem with red footage is it just keeps stacking up on top of each other. So, my footage from my little trip out west and NAB. It didn't like the word "but" there, Gerald, but I let it through because that's not that harsh. Yeah, I've been generating terabytes of data again, and so I had to expand out my RAID array. The best way that I've been doing it, although I really do want to talk to my buddy about the, I forget what it's called, but it's like the grid storage like Google uses. It's free. He told me he would help me set it up one day, but we haven't got around to doing it. But basically, you just throw every kind of hard drive you have at it, doesn't matter what size, and it just spreads it all out across it in redundancy. Because I've been using, I have a RAID controller in my workstation that I just keep adding drives to. I buy those Western Digital external USB 8 terabyte drives, and then shuck the case and just pull the drive out. Let's see here. Spring Real Estate's been going crazy, shooting my butt off, actually getting more video games. That's good. That's good. Just every day, do a little bit more. Lewis says, I was struggling with my tripod head, which is way too soft in the pan, and I can't get any smooth pans from it. It has no knob to make it harder to pan. What head is it? Is it a video head, or is it a photographic head? It sounds like it's too light for your purpose. There are cheap video heads out there that don't really have a drag control. They really just kind of have you could tighten it up, but then it'll actually start sticking. So it depends. Are you kidding? I don't even know what this stuff means. It was all working. It used to work just wonderfully. Profile. Okay, so yeah, it depends on the type of drag. Like that head that's right there, that one is a 502, I believe it is. I have a 504 Manfrotto, and I also have a 501, I think it is. Let me grab it real quick. And it definitely can have an effect on things, because this little bitty one, this inexpensive one, is not great for panning. It just isn't. So this one is it's like a 501 DV. It doesn't want to tell me. Fluid panning head. It's the 500 AH. So this guy right here, it has fluid in it, but there's no control over drag. You can tighten that up, which does not really make for a smoother pan. It actually just makes it flimsy. So, I mean, at some point you're going to outgrow your tripod, but I mean, the way I would tell you to do is to try to make the best out of it. Yeah, Gerald, I mean, it is dirt cheap compared to some of the tripods. Like an O'Connor 1030 is like 10 grand, and it's just a big tripod head. My Miller, the head, I think was about 1,500. But it has a lot of capacity and lots of different tensions and even drag speeds that it can do. I mean, it's all relative. I get it. 502 is that one right there, and the 502 is better than this one. But I mean, I've operated the red on this thing, which you're not supposed to do. It's not safe. But I've done it because I needed it, and it was super lightweight. Let's see. Stream stinks. Hey Jamie, thanks for saying how much it stinks. Drag control is the word I searched for. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. The preset drag is too soft. Yeah. The Benrose. I mean, I don't particularly love Benro because Benro is they are a Chinese cloner, so they copy people's designs. But the Benro, like the S6 or the S8, are definitely more sturdy tripod heads. They can handle more weight. They've got more settings. I try to caution people not to go out and just start spending a bunch of money, because money will not make you a better filmmaker. Sometimes it is making do with what you have and learning how to make it work really well will actually make you a better filmmaker than having a really good tripod head. Uh, because you're gonna force yourself into more cinematic movements with your body, and that will pay off better later. Holy hell, yeah, those are pricey for 150 for the 502 is hard to beat, yeah. And if anybody's looking for a tripod head, I highly recommend you click on any one of those Amazon links down below, and you don't have to choose the item that's in there. Just click on a link, go to Amazon, and then start shopping because you can help Scott that way. Gerald, in fact, did that recently. Thank you, Gerald. Let's see. Robert says I was doing a super low budget quality. Wow. Super low budget quality music video, and I just realized that the track that we used on set didn't have the time code embedded. Well, sounds like I hope you have some scratch audio. That's going to be fun to reassemble. Yeah, I got the cheap Chinese copy of the one you have in your hand. Okay, yeah. This one is the very basic video fluid head, and it's okay. It's better than a photographic head, but I mean, the other things you can do. Let's just do this. So you can create your own drag. So if you put your finger like right around here, kind of rests up, you can create a little bit of drag. You have to be careful not to, if you hear it, you're actually going to cause it to just kind of vibrate as it goes. But you can put a little tension on it that way. You can tighten this up a little bit, and it's going to give you a little bit more friction, but it's not designed as a full-on resistance for your pans. So honestly, what I'd tell you is save your money for now and just practice with what you have. And then when you're ready, go ahead and get yourself a big one. But I mean, people that get so frustrated, they go and they buy the latest and greatest, the bigger and better, and then they don't understand why they're not improving. It's because they never took the time to learn the basics, and that tripod head will make you learn the basics. So do that. Let's see. Didn't mean to type EC. Try to edit photos at the same time. Hit Control C. Gerald, could you give the name of this guy? The 502. Yeah, it's here. How's my draw? Well, it seems to be okay. Manfrotto 502 AH. I don't think the Amazon link will work over where you are, Lewis, but I'll send it to you anyway. Let's see. It's this guy right here. Text. Come on. Give it to me. Come on. Well, give it to me. There we go. So it is that. Or you want the S8? Yeah, okay. So let's. The Benro. Yeah, the Benro S8 is not cheap. The S6 is a little cheaper. Yeah, that one comes with the better tripod. Come on. This is almost as bad as me sitting here playing with the S6. I don't think I'm set up in the other countries for Amazon, but anybody else that happens to. Let me look at this one. I want to see what this one is. The S6. So that looks like a copy of. That's interesting. That is not. That looks like Yeah, the S6 is a copy of the 502. That is interesting. So here's the S6. Let's see here. Remember how I couldn't get my movie to boot up and the motors to pair with the app? Had to have it serviced by FreeFly. I decided to bite the bullet and get the Ignite Digi adapters for the DJI bats as well. Not a cheap repair. No, it's how much was the repair? The Ignites were $1,000. Let's see, 160 for S8. So you can get an S8 for okay, guy locally selling an S8 for 160. Honestly, Gerald, that's a pretty good buy. It is better. The S8 is like a 504. I can't get it. It's got a crane on it, a jib. Repair load was 800. Oh man, that kind of bites. Sorry about that, man. That sucks. What did they say the problem was? I can't imagine. Man, that's. I do like my little Ronin S. I have not mounted the red onto it yet. I'm going to, but I have not done it yet. Without the bridging, that's true. Yeah, I saw multiple people have the same issue. Mine was the GCU. Really? That is, man. I would not expect that component to be so expensive. Huh. Have you used the S8? It's a pretty big upgrade from the 502. I have not used the S8, but it is a clone of the 504. Let me grab it. My dog is probably going to get mad because I'm in there bothering him. But at least he's not asking to go anywhere. It's all right, buddy. You stay put. You stay put. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Yeah. Oh, it's not there. Oh, I see. Where is it? Well, I guess, he got up. Oh, man. It's all over now. Oh, there it is. There's the 504. I'll bring it in. It did not have the jib on it. No, I'm not letting you out. No. We're not doing that today. You interrupted me on my video earlier, too. So this is the 504 HD, which is the same as the S8. Pretty sure. Last time I saw it, it was. So it has a friction control here that you can tighten up for the panning. And it does, I mean, I use this one a lot before, oh, come on. What are we doing here? There's that. And this is, there we go. Okay. So I use this one a lot before I used my Miller. I bought my Miller, and it actually has some fairly decent tension that you can put on it. And this one is rated for, I think, 15 or 20 pounds. So the Benro S8 is a clone of that one, and it's not bad. I would not, I mean, if I didn't have my Miller, I'd be using that one still today, and it works just fine. Hey, Tony, how are you, man? Let's see here. No, Rex. No. Don't come over here and beg. It's not going to happen. No, it's not. No. You're going to sniff my tripod? Okay, fine. What was the labor it did to replace the cables according to the service order? But yeah, way more than I thought. Any idea what caused it, Tyler? You shouldn't have a failure of cables unless something bad happened to it. Gerald, yes, it is overkill for your GH5S. However, if you ever consider upgrading, then you'll have it. You can get away with getting a much bigger tripod head than you need to a point. There are, ideally, the way you want your tripod is you want to be able to put your load on it, loosen it, and put it in any position and let go, and it shouldn't spring back or fall over. So when they say it has a capacity range, it's like 4 to 25 pounds. That is the lightest you can configure it so that it won't just fall forward or flip back. So as long as you're within that range, then it's fine. And I would much rather be happy and have, like, at the very bottom of the weight of the tripod head so that I have the ability to get a much bigger camera than I would being at the top. It doesn't feel safe to me at the very top. Let's see here. Does anyone else like the idea to talk about the cinematography of some Netflix series? Oh yeah, I love Netflix series. A lot of them. Is that the one with the tilt lock on the wrong side? Yes, Robert. Every single one of the Manfrottos, they go back and forth. What is there? I don't get that. I feel like they didn't know what they were doing each one of them. I naturally just grab both sides until I feel it. Let's see here. Tony says, I'm fine, thank you. Yep, yep. Tyler says, no idea. It had just been used for a music video and was fine. Yes, Rex is a boy doggy, and he's a giant dog. I mean, he could, let's see if he can sit up. Come here, buddy. Come here, Rex. Come here. Come over here. See if we can get him over here and you can see him. Come here. Good boy. Good boy, right there. Sit. Yeah, there's my boy. He's my boy. He's my puppy. Good boy. You're gonna bother me? He's a big boy. He weighs about 140 pounds now. Good boy. All right, good boy. Thanks for being a part of the live stream. Yep, you can't go through there. There's wires. You're a good boy. You want to lay down behind me? You want to lay down behind me? No. You can see he's really tall, and I'm actually I'm on a tall chair, not a desk chair. Oh, he's got a whip tail too. He can knock that whole table off back there with one swoop. Okay, go lay down. Good boy. Go lay down. Go on. Don't ignore me. He's half Great Pyrenees, so he ignores everything I say. Good boy. Let's see here. Hey, Kerwin, are you you're in Washington right now, or no, not Washington, Virginia, and you're on your way here? Where are you at? Did you notice that Breaking Bad is nearly shot from the shoulder all the time? Yes, it depends. So I actually have spoken with, and so did Tyler, and Robert, you did too, didn't you? The cinematographer from Breaking Bad, and they want the feeling anytime you're seeing Walt when he's in disarray, when he is like just going nuts. They do a lot of over the shoulder anytime there's panic, and then they tend to do different camera motivations and movements and I'm losing the term. They do a lot of that based upon the mood of the scene that's in. Maryland, be in Texas in 45 days. Cool. Then you can try Whataburger. Let's see here. So you don't need a tripod. This is true. If you're doing handheld, channeling flying high. I don't have my handheld rig. I did get this. This is a small rig for the GH5S. And I got it so I could handheld that GH5. I don't find myself using it much. It's kind of disappointing. I was really, really pleased to use it. Got the G7, of course. Always have that out. Yeah, let's get back over. Yeah, Whataburger fries, very, very good. I have that cage. Do you use it, Gerald? I mean, the handles. I had to buy this one, number one, because I always use the audio interface on top, so I had to have that spot, which makes it taller. And then the handle's kind of silly. These handles I really like, but they weigh a lot. I mean, a lot, and I can put them on both sides and carry it. I mean, lately I've been shooting more and more just with the red. I just say, screw it, I'm just going to use the red. Let's see here. Robert says, I am flying in July. It'll be my first time actually staying in Texas instead of driving through the panhandle. Oh, nice. What are you doing in July? Tony says, you don't need a tripod if you're doing handheld. That's true. You don't need a tripod for that. However, it does get tiring, and I want to put it down. Anyone know why Small Rig isn't producing any cages for the 80D? Yeah, Lewis, that camera it's still being made, but it's being phased out. So when Small Rig is actually a Chinese company, when they're looking at stuff, they're looking at, do I design something for the up and coming cameras or the cameras that are going away? They don't want to do it for the older cameras because they won't sell that many. So they want to try to sell as many as they can. So they tend to do them for the popular and or the new cameras. I mean, the 80D is actually pretty sturdy by itself. I don't know why you'd want a cage for it. It's bulky all by itself. Oh yeah, I have a field attached to it, and it's on rails and a mat box and a follower. Look at you, Gerald. You're all Mr. Cinematographer. Remember, the girlfriend is visiting a high school friend, and I get to tag along. Well, there you go. Which part of Texas are you going to be in? You know, Texas is kind of big, Robert. I don't know if you know that or not, but it's not really small. It's kind of big. It's huge. Yeah. I'm knocking on wood. This seems like seems like I'm dropping frames, but I'm not dropping them all the time. No one's complaining about it. I mean, literally, I looked at it and it started dropping frames. But I guess it's bearable at the moment. I guess we'll have to see. Let's see here. Girlfriend. Oh, Katie is in like the Houston area. I don't know, somewhere with that one taco place, I'm sure. Yeah, Katy is where I grew up. It's where I went to high school. It's where I was in elementary school, amongst all the other places. But Katy is west of Houston, 30 miles. That's funny that she's in Katy. Which part of Katy? Now I have to know. Gerald says, I don't have the world's best eyesight, so the field monitor is an absolute must for me. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have my monitors and my phones super bright. Robert and I at NAB, we were checking out Portkeys. Portkeys has a 7-inch high bright monitor that's $349, and Robert just got that one. And I've been looking at it. It is really bright, and it's really affordable, like $350. So if anybody's looking for actually it was cheaper than $350, wasn't it, Robert? Let me see here. Portkeys. It is called the HH7, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's $290. I'm gonna put a link out here for anybody who's interested. That was yeah. If you wanted to have the 3G SDI, then yeah, so that's pretty cheap. Adam Grunbo sent me a message. So let's see here. This is that is the Portkeys monitor. It really looked good. Robert was so impressed he beat me to it and bought one already. Let's see. Robert says they just moved there and haven't bought a house yet, so I'm not sure. I got you. Okay. Okay, so Robert already has his. It's killer. $339. It's $299 if you just need HDMI. It's $339 if you want the SDI on there. Well, Lewis, you can always travel to the States. The United States is actually very welcoming, despite what everybody says in the world. We're not like that. I was shooting in direct sunlight, 95-degree sun yesterday, and it was a game changer. Perfect. That's what I want to hear. The next investment for the business is the Ninja 5. Better codecs. Yeah, I mean, what codec are you finding on your GH5S that's not living up to your standards? I mean, ProRes is a giant file size, is what it's going to be, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a better codec. Challenge you on that one. No, Tony, it's not your internet. It's my internet. It's being a pain in the rear. It is. I don't know. I'm gonna have to invest some serious time, like testing out the CPU and encoding and everything else. So it's my internet or something here. Scott, keep my SL2 or upgrade to SL3. Is there anything on the SL3 you need? I don't promote jumping all the time. I just feel like it's not. Don't you do it? I don't feel like jumping technology is absolutely necessary most of the time. So I don't think I would tell you to jump to the SL3. Yeah, earlier, right before the live stream, I was sitting there watching my camera, and the camera starts moving this way. I'm like, what in the world? My dog puts his paw and just pushes the tripod out of the way so he can lay down. Let's see here. File size isn't an issue here, but my laptop will work with ProRes better than H.264. Really? Okay. All right. I can understand. You might just upgrade your laptop. Well, no, yeah. I mean, H.264, I don't have any problem with H.264. I can edit it. Well, I guess that's not true. Like on this laptop, I've struggled with 4K H.264 with multiple streams. I get it. ProRes is a lot of data storage, though. It's very, very heavy. It's like, there's a story I was telling when I was DITing that they were shooting the Helium, which is an 8K red. They were shooting it at ProRes because they didn't really want the giant file sizes of 8K. And I kept telling them, I was like, you realize the ProRes file is going to be at least twice the size of the 8K red log, or the red R3Ds. And they just, no, I will just do ProRes. It was more than twice the size. And ProRes can fill up a drive quick. Let's see. ProRes is just less CPU intensive on certain machines. That's true. I can edit 10-bit 4K ProRes without a hiccup. H.264, big time. I have to use a lower res proxy to get it smooth. Have you tried just setting your display? That's one thing I have noticed. On the H.264 on the GH5, it's better performing on my machine if I set it to full resolution. If I set it to half resolution or a quarter resolution, it gets jumpy. So I don't know. You might try playing with that. See if you're actually in full or not. I don't ever use proxies. That's something I don't ever need to do. I mean, there's a time and a place, but I don't do it. Hey Scott, maybe you can make a video about codecs in the future. Yeah, sure. I could do that. I probably would be more of a talking tour of the codecs, just because there's no way I could demonstrate a ProRes versus an H.264 versus a 265 versus R3D versus all of that on YouTube because YouTube's going to take it to H.264. Yeah, Gerald. Yeah, yeah. So if I set mine to half, it's jumpy. If I set it to full, it plays back smooth. So check that. Try it. Try H.264 in full res, and see what happens. It's kind of weird. I have no idea why. Those updates I saw from DaVinci and NAB looked really interesting. Thinking about giving Resolve a whirl for editing. Give it a shot. I didn't think there were that many updates to Resolve at NAB. I was uh, I was hoping for more. They did solve a few things like the speed ramping. They did a lot of that, but I don't consider it a major upgrade. But there's no reason not to try it. I mean, if you learn it, you learn it, and you love it, you love it. Who cares? Edit away. Just explain. Yeah, Lois, I'll do that. I'll make a note of that one. Um, where are all my? Let's see. Talk about color. Talk about codecs and the advantages of each. Yep, got it. Will do, buddy. That cut module or whatever they call it looked interesting. Speed is a huge deal for us. We're turning around in 48 hours. Yeah. I I don't know. I don't know, Gerald. I'd have to see. I'd have to see how you're editing and what it's taking you. How long does it take you to do an edit? I generally get through edits really fast. Um, it I can chop them up. I mean, granted, different. The professional edits. Let me go back. Do take a little bit longer because I'm not doing jump cuts like I do on this channel. I don't care on this channel so much that I allow jump cuts on here, so I can zoom through real fast. Um, but like I can edit. I was just editing about a 20-minute interview down to 3 minutes. It only took me like 3 hours, and I was done. Just getting it all colored and to music and everything. It was not horrible. So I don't know. Let's see. I'll say the auto color button in Resolve got a massive improvement. All that stuff from Big Bear I showed you was just the auto grade in Resolve. Oh, interesting. Auto grade, one click finished product. Yeah, at some point, that's the way it's going to be. Everything's going to look super by clicking one button. And then I'll be out there going, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to make it look nasty and dirty. Takes a while as my partner is shooting. He gives me as many angles and move directions as possible. Only can take me a couple hours for a good sized house. That's true. Um, sometimes when I, when I'm looking at stuff, sometimes I'm trying to think of how to properly phrase that where it doesn't sound weird. Um, if you have a good shot, you don't necessarily need to find a better shot. So like when I like for real estate, if I was going to do that, I'd go through and I would scan through all the moves real fast, just all the different shots, and then I would kind of visualize how I want to flow through, and I'd start plugging in shots, and then I would look to see if any of them are bad or glitchy or what have you, and if they are, then I go find a replacement for it, or if it's the wrong direction, then I could go find a replacement for it. But I mean, usually, when people shoot, if they do the same shot 3 times, probably the second or third shot is better, or else they wouldn't have done it a second or third time. So I usually tend to grab the latter ones and pull them in, and then start from there. It's you can overwork yourself sometimes by looking at every single angle and trying it. I mean, if it's a feature and you're spending the time, then it's worth it. But I mean, if you're just cutting stuff rapidly, um, it wouldn't be a bad idea for your partner to tag all that stuff and let you know. Now, when you get your Atomos, you can tag that stuff. That'll help. But like when he says that's a good take, boom, he just hits the tag and you know. Um, that way you can go in, grab all the tags, and you know you have good clean shots there. So that's the thought. Is it working? Is it work? It's live stream. Okay, I'm not. I looked at it, so it's going to start dropping frames now. You watch. So yeah, Kerwin, 45 days, and I'll drive up there and we'll go to Whataburger together. Tagging is a great idea. I'll talk to him about it. Yeah, it's if you have the Atomos, it's super easy. If you don't have it, then he needs to make mental notes. Or if you're recording audio, just have him tag the audio. Just say, "Oh, that was a great one." But anything you can do to get a dialogue where there's no dialogue. So if your partner's out there shooting and you're editing, then you need to have a dialogue of what was good, what was not. And the more efficient way you can do that is going to make your life easier. And it should, in turn, make his life easier because you're not going to be complaining. Yep. Let's see here. Anybody need a Gemini? A friend of mine is selling his Gemini. If anybody's looking for a red Gemini. Let's see. A friend of mine used to shoot news, and he would flash color bars on a take before he cut for what he wanted to use later in the edit. Oh, there you go. There you go. That's a good way to. Yeah. Let's see. You can? Yeah, Gerald. There you go. Try that on. There is a tone and bars on the GH5. You can assign a hotkey to that. So if he likes the take, boom, he hits the button and it pulls up tone and bars. 99% sure that is. I've seen that. So try that. I agree. Of course, I'd have to make sure is done as quickly as possible. I just don't want him hanging inside the house for long. Yep. Hey, Robert, we'll see you next one. Yep, gotcha. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I get it. I mean, definitely. I mean, the Atomos will be super fast because as he does it, boop, he just pushes a button and it's done. It's tagged. So yeah, that might be fast. I'll try. Oops. I'll try to remember who. Let's see. What else is going on out there, peoples? How? Oh yes, my sign of zodiac is Gemini. So why don't you? Yeah, you should have a Gemini. You should absolutely have one. Let's see here. You know what I really need is a margarita and a cigar. But my daughter isn't home yet, so I don't want to make it myself. I'm lazy. Yes, please. Yep. Got to know how much is he asking for the Gemini. Let me find out. What is included and how much are you asking? My guess is it's just the brain. No, it shouldn't be $25. Because he has a Monstro, and so he's in love with that, as he should be. The Monstro is stupendously awesome. Who was it that someone just asked me if I knew anybody selling a Gemini. Huh. $30. Yeah, yeah, no, I think that's going to be a little cheap there, Lewis. Little cheap. I believe the brain is 20 grand new. There aren't that many Geminis out there for sale. Um, I do. I remember who I had the conversation. Okay, yeah, all right. He's back to watch this nonsense. Well, thanks, Jamie. Thanks for coming by and spreading more nonsense. Speaking of nonsense, what was it you were just asking me how to do earlier? Tell me about that. Post that down in the chat comments there. Yeah, nonsense. Call this nonsense. This is not nonsense. This is awesome, choppy television, live stream. Oh, that looks so pretty. Although I do like I like the, I like the weapon logo better. Yeah, that guy right there. Isn't that the Raven? Nope, that's the Dragon X. So see I don't know if it's in focus or not. Dragon X. It's 5K and it's full DSMC2 body. So it has all the horsepower, so you can shoot at the lowest compression ratios and the highest frame rates. It's very nice. I was asking about ND filters or something you don't remember. Yeah, I don't think that's what it was, Jamie. No, I don't think it was NDs. I don't think it at all. You need 8K. You know, Jamie, a friend of mine is selling his red Gemini. That could be good for you. I'm sure it worked great in your little project. No, I don't have the red 8K. I have the red 5K. I had 6K before the 5K. I was shooting with 8K in Vegas. I met Gerald, okay. Oh, wait. Gerald was asking, is the Gemini like the budget red? No. Now, the Raven is the budget, although I believe it is not officially for sale anymore. Technically, the Dragon X is now their budget camera, and it's 15 grand for the brain. I don't think you can get a Red Raven anymore. Well, you probably can through like B&H or something. But originally it was Red Raven, then Scarlet W, then Gemini, then everything above. Now it is one body. And then there's the Dragon 5K, there's the Gemini 5K, there's the Helium 8K, and Monstro 8K. And those were the sensors you can get on there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, they're not showing. They're not showing it. Yeah, I don't see it available. So yeah, I think Dragon X is the low line at this point. Maybe I could talk to Grumbo. He needs a Dragon X instead of a Gemini. That'd make him so much happier. Be kind of cool to have the Gemini though. Let me ask him if he wants to trade. Want to trade? No more browsing while streaming. Sky comes. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Such a beauty. Yeah, I have a new camera, but you won't be impressed. Well, why would you say that, Tony? You know I'm impressed. Which one is it? Which one'd you get? Are you still in the Micro Four Thirds world? You were in love. What'd you do? Which one you got? Last one I remember was, I think it was the Olympus that you went with. What'd you get now? Come on. Now's your chance. Tell us. Tell us. Um, let's see here. Oh man, the German autocorrection is terrible when writing English. Ha! Is that what you're doing? You're typing in German and then having it translate. That's cool. Tony, it's the GoPro 7. Ha! I still love the Mark IV thirds camera. I have the G7 GX8 OMD EM1 Mark II. Right. So the GoPro 7. What made you want that? I have that as well. Where is it? It's not. It's down there. It's not bad. The thing that I don't like about GoPros is the fisheye, and you know what killed me, and then I'll tell you the little tidbit. I walked up to GoPro at NAB and I said, "Hey, could you please make either a removable lens version of the GoPro or a non-fisheye?" And the guy just stopped, smugly looked at me and said, "If people really wanted that, we would have made it by now." And I was just taken aback. And I looked at him, I said, "Maybe that's why your stock price is in the gutter." And I walked away. But DJI, I just saw that DJI is going to be releasing a little action camera. And if that's the case, GoPro's history. GoPro's going to be done. DJI is not going to be putting a fisheye on theirs, and they're probably going to price it even cheaper. So yeah, I keep stopping. I don't mean to. It's my internet. Oh, ha, Lewis, that's funny. That sounds familiar. Similar, yeah. Buffering pretty bad now? That's weird. Because right now it tells me I'm not buffering. I don't know. BTS is behind the scenes, is what BTS stands for. There we go. It's probably faster if y'all type it to each other. Better now. Okay, so maybe it was chopping and I didn't see it. That's possible. It's likely. Very likely. Yeah, the GoPro 7 with its image stabilization is pretty phenomenal. But you can get a pretty stable picture out of it. Now you're back to being super great vid. It's weird. Oops, one more perfect. Yeah. I can't win on the buffering. BTS is the best out there on the planet. Yeah, I like the GoPro. I just don't like the fisheye. What did you end up buying it for? What was your reasoning for GoPro? Literally just got it out of the box. Okay, yep. You gonna mount it to Buddy and have him walk around? Am I right? BTS is the best out there on the planet. Yeah, maybe you're right, Lewis. Maybe we'll see. Well, I've been okay. Yeah. I was looking at it and it said I've only been streaming for 55 minutes, and I know for sure I started at 4:30, but I stopped and started this many times because of the wonderful buffering. I can't imagine what that's going to do to my live stream assembly. Let's see here. I can't get help with making YouTube videos, so I need to start finding ways of being more independent. Well, that's good. That's good. Brofist. Tony, that's reasonable. It'll allow you to get multiple shots, and you can just set your little GoPro down. Where is... Get one of those little... So I can find it real quick. This is the best accessory for the GoPro. Hang on. I don't know, where did she put it? Come on now. Well, fine. I guess I can't show you. I wanted to. It's not here. Yeah, well. The little Joby bendy pods, the Gorilla pods that you can move around, they make a tiny little one. It's like this big, and it's perfect for GoPros because you can attach it to it and just set it down, and then it gets it off about 6 inches. So if you're putting it in the grass, it gets it out of the way. Yeah, it's like $7. Let's see here. So what is the next project we will be able to see from you? What is the next project? I'm just looking, like a lot of the corporate interview stuff that I've done recently. I have no idea when or where that's going to be posted. The edits that I'm doing right now, I don't know when and where those are going to be posted. The last shoot, I don't know when or where that's... You're not going out. You come lay down. Come lay down. You're not... No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when the next thing you'll be able to see. Probably the next thing you're going to be able to see is what I put out. All the stuff I'm working behind the scenes usually. The commercial I just shot last night, that one will be on Facebook. It may not be that far out. It may be a week or two. You'll be able to see that one. It's shot for a movie theater, but it's going to go on their Facebook as well. So the commercials that I did the last weekends, those are actually not coming out until 2020. So they're going to use those to present the 2020 version of that event. So those aren't going to be for a while. I mean, that's the way it works. You shoot something, and then like 8 months later, you're like, oh yeah, I remember I shot that. You finally see it. Let's see here. My podcast starts next week, so I can start to get back to other areas of creative. Well, that's good, Tony. You seem to be doing well, and I'm very pleased to see that you feel positive to me, and that's good. Glad to see that. What was your way to your red? What do you mean by that, Lewis? What was my way to my red? Do you mean how did I get to a red? Like cameras before, or what? Yeah, put that in the comment. That way I can answer it correctly. Let's see here. Bad video settings. Okay, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Well, fine. I'll do that too. It's telling me my keyframes are not good enough. So seconds. Let's do it 2. There. Where do I cellar my wine? I keep that in the wine rack. That's where. Why was that one day you just? Oh, what was it about? Okay, I got you. Okay, so you're wondering what it is that made me decide that I needed to buy a Red as opposed to any other camera. Copy that. Um, there was no there was no real one day that did it. I had followed Red from the very beginning, and I almost bought the original Red one 12, no, 15, whatever years ago, 2005 or 2006. And so I've always had Red in mind. It wasn't until well, it was 4.5 years, well, 5 years ago, 5 years ago. Um, no, 5 years ago is when I bought it. So it was 7 years ago that I was starting on my video journey, ramping back up, getting out of photography, more back into video, and um, I started realizing the benefits of RAW in video versus like RAW in stills. If you shoot like your ADD, excuse me, and you shoot JPEG, then your image is pretty much done. You can manipulate it a little bit, but if you shoot it in RAW, you can go in and change everything about that photo. And Red does that. Red shoots RAW to cards. And I mean, it was one day, I think I saw a video that just truly blew me away with the color and the dynamic range that was being captured. At the time, that was the Mysterium Red sensor, and that was 13 stops of dynamic range. But that was really unheard of. There weren't that many cameras that could do it. You had the Area Alexa, which was around 14 stops. And then you had the Red at 13 stops. And then when Dragon came out, I was absolutely blown away. And I told the wife, I said, look, this is something for the future. We buy this now, and we don't care about making our money back on it. We buy it now for us so that we can know it inside and out. We can shoot our projects on it. We can do the nature stuff on it. We can learn it and really understand this camera. And in the future, it'll pay us back by our knowledge and our abilities and such. And I bought that Dragon. In fact, it was a video by Ivan Agerton on the Red channel. So if you go to YouTube, and not now, stay on my channel. Yeah, no. If you go to YouTube's Red page and then type in Ivan Agerton, there's a video there that he put out for Red that talked about his journey, and it is what inspired me to say, that's it. We're buying a Red. We're gonna go full time soon. That soon ended up being a couple of years, but it was the pinnacle for me. His attitude, the stuff that he captured, how he captured it, everything about that. I didn't want to be him, but I wanted to feel like him. So I wanted that freedom of being my own boss, and I wanted to capture images with the depth that he was able to do. And I bought my Dragon like right then and there. We actually played some financial games to come up with the cash to buy it, and bought it. And I mean, I don't regret that purchase at all. At all. And I spent a lot more money on it 5 years ago than this costs now. I mean, this right here, you can buy this in a kit. from Red, which it actually includes the Sigma 1835, the brain, a handle. The 5-inch monitor doesn't have this, but it does come with the Red bricks, and it comes with the IO expander. It's $20,000. It does come with media too. My Red was 36,000, and it was, but that's significant. You could buy almost 2 of those. So it was a lot of discussions with the wife, and fortunately for me, she's exceptionally supportive of all of this, so it worked out. It's perfect. Let's see, what did I miss here? How eventually, of course, I'll stay here. uh, my equipment journey for video. I mean, I've had lots of little like handy cams, but my first professional camera, which was not professional, was the Canon XL1. If you, I don't have. I'm tempted to go buy one. Actually, I used, they were not mine, they were my mother-in-law's. You remember when I was live streaming with Super VHS, that camera, which is right here, you can't see it, I don't have it on. I bought that camera because that was the very first one that I had started using. And then I bought the XL1 and the GL1. From there, I think I upgraded it to the XL1S. And then I went to, and this was about the time that Red was coming out. So Red, I think it was 2005 or 2006. And Red kept delaying the Red 1. So I bought the Panasonic HVX 200, which the HVX 200 is an all-in-one kind of a camcorder, and it shot on these cards. They look like a Red Mag, but they're actually 4 SD cards inside. They're called P2 cards. I ended up buying that, and then I went from that to the Canon XHA1, which is mini DV tapes, but it had far better color and sharpness than the HVX 200. The HVX 200 looked really good at 720, but it didn't look fantastic. It was a little soft at 1080, where the XHA1 was really nice at 1080. And then from there, I went to the Canon 7D. I was doing the heck? Oh, got wrapped around with my wire. I went to the DSLR, the 7D, and I shot with that for a while. Then I went to the 5D Mark III, and then I went to the C100, and then from the C100, we went all the way to the Red Dragon. It was a huge jump, huge. But I've owned many other cameras during that time as well, including the Ursa Mini Pro. I've owned the Canon GL1, the GL2. I've owned a couple of the really small, tiny Sonys. I've owned those. Yeah, all over the place. Could I recommend the Sigma 18-35? Absolutely, wholeheartedly. It is absolutely one of the sharpest lenses out there. It is phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely. It's only Super 35 or APS-C, so it'll work on your ADD with no problem. If you have a full frame camera, you have to shoot it at like 23 to 35, and it won't vignette. But it is super sharp. I mean, it is so sharp that a lot of times I throw filtration on there because it's so surgically sharp. Last night I was shooting with a Pro Mist on on there, just because it gives it a better look. So yeah, the Sigma 18-35, as well as the yeah, there. This is the 50-100. Also, Sigma is also Super 35. It is also absolutely sharp. It's actually one of my favorite lenses now. It's so smooth in the focus. You can actually, or in the zoom, you can actually do a zoom push in very smoothly with your fingers. The negative on the focus is it breathes a lot. And focus breathing, if you're not familiar with it, it's when it tends to zoom in a little bit as you are focusing. So as I'm focusing closer, it may zoom in so you can actually see it. You'll see that on movies when you see like a focus pull, and you watch the sides of the frame, and something will go out of frame. That means it has very a lot of focus breathing, and that that 50-100 has horrible focus breathing. It's almost like a zoom, but the 18-35 has none. It's phenomenal. Uh, ProMist. Can I talk about that filter a bit? Yes. Recommended strength? Yes. Depends on the brand. So yeah. So here's let me. So here's what you need to understand with ProMists, and there's a lot of different ones, and they all have different names. They can't call them the exact same thing because somebody owns ProMist. This is nope, not that one. Is it this one? Nope, that's not it. Must be this one. I can't see. Come on now. It's so hard to see in a dark room. Black Pro Mist. There we go. Okay. So this is a Black Pro Mist. And you're not going to be able to see what it does to me, but you can see what it does to the light. Let's see. See how it blooms that light out more? Look over here to this one. It's very soft. Now, what happens is, and this is the weird part about it. Let me see what strength this is. So this is a half. So when you shoot with ProMists, you have to realize that the more telephoto your lens, the stronger your ProMist needs to be. So if you're going to do, let's say, if you like the look, here, let me put this up against the screen. No, dog. All right, so right now we don't have it, and I'm going to slide it in front, and now we have it. So it's, you can see there's with it, there's without. It's a fairly strong, fairly strong. You would use this half for for more telephoto usage, but here's how to think of it this way. If you had, say, you like that look right there, and I am at, I think about 15 millimeters on that lens, and you like that straight. If you were to go to a 30 millimeter lens, in order for that same look to transfer over, you would need a full Black Pro Mist, because you're using a smaller amount. So as you're going through, you're using smaller. I don't know how to technically frame that. The more telephoto, the stronger you need your Pro Mist. The wider, the weaker you'd want it. So If you like that look and you were at, say, 70 millimeters and it looked great, and you had a half, and then you went to like 12 millimeters on a micro four thirds, then you would be at an eighth or even a 16th pro mist to get that same look. Let's see, I've been looking at the Tiffin, either the quarter or the half. And Tyler, yeah, which one do you find that you shoot on a lot? Like the half is, to me, it's good at about 100 millimeters or 80 millimeters. If I put it on the 18 to 35, I mean, it looks like that. It just blows out everything. The Rokinon 35 VDSLR. I don't know what that is, honestly. Let's see. Rokinon. You're shooting wide, I'm assuming, Tyler? Rokinon 35 VDSLR. Are you talking about the lens, Lewis? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're talking about those. I'm not a huge fan of the Rokinon lenses. They work, but I'm not a huge fan. They're cheap, but I'm not a huge fan. I think there's better money spent elsewhere. Depends on the lens though as well. Yeah, so maybe a quarter. That yeah. There's once you get into pro mists, Gerald, there's no one size fits all unless you're using one lens and you're not zooming, because you want that effect to feel the same. There's other effects that can do similar. Let's see what this one is. So like this is a, let's see what this one does. You can't even see it. This one is a low contrast filter. Let's see if you can, it should bloom a lot, but it works better with very pinpoint light. Yeah, you see how everything kind of gets basically low contrast. It kind of like, I don't know, it kind of just, I don't know, low contrast is probably the best possible description you can do for it. Let's see here. What other one do I have in here? I think that's Indie polarizer. What's this one? This one is this is an HD Soft Diffusion 1. So let's look at this one. Yeah, look at those lights up top. You see what it's doing? Really blowing it out. And you can stack filters too. You can add like the soft and this one, and you're going to get a lot of bloom and a low contrast. In fact, that's literally what those are for, is to duplicate Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Let's see, do I have my other filters? Let's see what I got here. What are these? These are not they. I have more filters somewhere. Back in my day, we used to carry around. There they are. Let's see what we got here. All right, so that's polarizer, Indie. What's that? Ooh. Okay, so here's a Black Pro Mist 1. So this one should bloom the hell out of all those lights. Let's see. Yep. Adds a lot of bloom. Adds a lot of Pro Mist. Let's see. What else we got here? I have a bunch of others somewhere. What are these? Oh, those are indies. Filter rings, indie, polarizer, indies. This is not even my other. Somewhere I have more filters. Always buy quality. Otherwise, you're going to buy them again. So it's good to have a filter set. So like a grouping of filters that match, so you can do that. Let's see here. Some say the zines, these are zines in a cheaper housing. Yeah, so the zines actually are based on the Rokinons, the others. That's what the zines are. They put them in a bigger housing. They're not much better. Some swear by them. Those people typically have those zines given to them. That's all I'm going to say. Typically use them on music videos that I found. I rarely go past 50 millimeters, and the quarter's enough for me. Yeah, it's a hint of Pro Mist that you want. Any opinion differences of the Pro Mist compared to the Schneider's Hollywood Blackmagic? So TJ, they're really very similar. They'll tell you, oh, they're so different because they're trying to differentiate themselves. All they're doing is they're duplicating, but they can't call them the same. So somebody will go and trademark Pro Mist. So you can't say Pro Mist. They'll say The Mist or Light Mist or some other thing. That's what they're doing. There's been some differences in some of the, like Tiffin's Black Pro Mist, then there's a Super Mist and a something HD. And they're all very slight tweaks. I've never used Schneider's Hollywood Blackmagic, but I'm pretty certain it is just a Black Pro Mist made by Schneider. Mostly in the 16 and 35. Yeah, I would go really light, like a quarter or an eighth would be fine on that. And it gives just a hint. It will look nice for, I don't know, Gerald. You might play with them and just see, because I don't know that I would use it for real estate. I don't know. On the Leica R's, for instance, I didn't go past an eighth because those lenses already have a vintage look. Yeah, that's true. Like on the Sigmas are so sharp that I end up putting filters on there just to give it some kind of a look, some kind of flaring ability, anything. The Sigmas are just very surgically, technically sharp, but they don't have character. The character is sharpness, and so I think it's good to put filters on sharp lenses. Plus, we use some haze, so you need less filtration. That's true. You can actually make the filtration go crazy with haze. Okay, I'm surrounded by professional filmmakers. How did you all get started, get hired? Some tips for me, please. Well, Tyler, you can key in there, but I mean, I would tell you, make it your passion. Make it what you love, and then do what you love. Keep doing it. Follow that, and you're gonna be fine. I mean, it takes a while to get into it, but you got to love what you're doing. When you love what you're doing, then there's nothing like it, and you'll end up being successful. I don't know how else to say it. To get hired, I mean, honestly, go do work for free. Go shoot some stuff for free. The more you have out there that you can show people, the more value you have when you ask for money. And it's true. It's your reel. People say, well, but have you ever shot a wedding, or have you ever shot a commercial? And you can pull it up on, yeah, try that. And then now all of a sudden you have more ability, because people are hiring you. They see your work, but they're hiring you, and they're hiring how you sell yourself. And you know, they look at your work and they go, okay, he knows what he's talking about, or he can shoot. Now, does he know what he's talking about? Or does she know what she's talking about? So you're selling yourself. So be confident in what you're doing by going out there and shooting all the time. Just do it. And it will happen. This will be for side stuff, be more creative and narrative type stuff. Oh yeah, you can definitely have a lot of fun with filters then, Gerald. Um, so Caleb over at DSLR Shooter seems to really like the vintage Canon FD glass for budget filmmaking. What do you think? I like it. I I think I think it's really cool. However, and I think we talked about this before. It's not the one I would go to. The vintage FD is pretty nice, but for my money, for my money, I'm going to be going with these Mamiyas. These suckers, they're for medium format, so they're huge. They can, which one is this one? This one is a 45 millimeter. They flare so nice. I can't really show you, but you get any kind of light into the side, and they're so artsy. They flare beautifully. You can buy these really cheap. You just buy an adapter for Micro Four Thirds or EF. You can buy these. These are the Secor Cs are the ones you want, and they'll have an N on there as well around the top. So it's a Secor C, and then an N. And these are made in Japan. These are from the 80s. They're fully manual, so there's no autofocus, there's no auto iris or anything. But they're just, they're just gorgeous. And you can buy these for like $100 on eBay. You can get a whole variety. They're spectacular, super sharp, but lots of character. Let's see here. Tyler says, yeah, try to get to be a PA and learn from the season. Yep, absolutely. Get on set whenever you can. Let's see. Reach out to local production companies or people in your area. Instagram is a good resource. As you can come assist and make yourself valuable. Yeah. The more you do for free, the better off it's going to be. Because eventually, if you start working for free for people, especially in production, then they're going to like you. If you do a good job, they're going to like you. And eventually, they're going to see your value and worth and then want to pay you along the way. Because unless they're just completely jerks, they're not going to take advantage of you. I mean, they're going to take advantage a little bit for the freeness, but they're gonna see a star in there. So, yeah, be proactive on. Yeah, definitely be proactive. Be helpful. Listen and pay attention to everything. But don't speak up and don't give your opinion unless they ask. Just listen the whole time, and then do what they ask. You just go really, really fast. That is definitely a way. If you don't want to be a know-it-all, and you're there. You're not even paid if you're doing it for free, but you're not there to offer your opinion. You're there to offer your help. So just absorb. Be a sponge. Let's see here. Can be that. Pay attention, listen, and be ready when someone asks for something. Yep. All of those things. Tyler knows. He's better than I am, but yeah, definitely. I mean, be yourself. Be an energetic, helpful person. And try to do it with your mouth closed most of the time so you can listen, and just listen to what people say, because there's so much gold and just great nuggets of information that you can get just from people talking on set, and just listen. So could I get one of those Secor Cs, put it on an EF adapter, and then speed boost of the GH5? Yep, you sure can. That is the beauty of EFs. So that's, but I could put it on, I could put it on there. I'm not going to. I don't want to mess with the focus or anything. I don't know anything about that, but I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah, you can absolutely do these adapt. My mirrorless are great because the sensor allows you to stack adapters with no problem, and with the putting the meta bones on there, and this being larger than full frame, there will be no problems with coverage, but you're going to get that full 45 millimeter effective full frame. No, they're there. They're just harder to come by. You gotta so go search by sold. You're making me search. You just told me not to web surf while I'm live streaming, and here I am web surfing. Are there any cheap lenses for Canons that are sharp? Lewis, there's an old phrase, there's no such thing as a free meal. And that's what I'm going to say on that. There's no cheap, great glass. There's just not. I mean, there's trade-offs. This is great glass, and it's fairly cheap, but it's not it's not auto exposure. It's not autofocus. It flares. So it's great because we're looking for something that flares, but it's not great for clean, clear, crisp, sharp, and autofocus. So Mamiya Secor C. Boom. Let's see what we get here. You gotta understand too, Gerald, that medium format. So a 45 millimeter on a GH5 or Micro Four Thirds would be like a telephoto. 45 millimeter on a full frame would be it would feel like 45 millimeters. It would feel like kind of just a medium. 45 millimeter on a medium format, it's more of a wide. It's so the sensor, well, not sensor, but the film was so much wider and bigger. So these are, I mean, you're not going to find an 8 millimeter. It doesn't exist. But yeah, 45 is like a 28, I think, on full frame, which would be like a 12 on GH5. Let's see what we got here. So that's why you see a lot of the telephotos. So there's this one for 102. There are some interesting. I'm not seeing any either. Are they? They're there. I know they are. I had several of them in my cart. There was a 28 that I had in my cart for a long time. And they're going to come from like Japan, all various places. You yeah, Gerald, sharpness and everything you look for in a lens. That's correct. Don't need autofocus. Good. Let's see. I'm gonna find myself on that speed boost at 16 to 35L more often than not. Yeah, that's a pretty wide lens there at that point. Tony says, "Hey Scott, just before I go make a cup of tea, I would love to thank you, Mr. Balkum, for all the help, advice, support, encouragement you've given me. Anytime, Tony. Anytime. You know that. I wouldn't have my podcast at this point if it wasn't for you. All you've done. You're incredibly patient and always helpful." Well, I appreciate that. I do love to help. It's just me, but I'm really pleased at all the things that you've been doing, Tony. It's good. I love it. Tony Edwards, what's the name of your podcast? He's got a few. Tony, do your type in your podcast information down there. If it blocks it, I'll let it through. That way everybody can go listen. Let's see here. How late is it behind the Great Pond? Let's see you guys stop that. You're gonna make me. You're making me tear up here. It's let's see here. I'm looking for a wide lens here. Let me just search for it. Secor 28 millimeter. Yeah, you may have to go out of the C's on the Mamiyas for the 28. I don't see any available right now. Yeah. Tony, don't you, are you not doing the other ones? Or are you just working that one? Tyler, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Auto. I don't want the auto. Wow, those 28s are selling for a lot. Wow. Yeah, you don't want the audio one because you won't be able to switch it. Okay, so let's see here. There's a Secor 28. That was cheap. There's go out and do a search for the Mamiya like older glass, and somebody will have like a primer. I was trying to remember where that was, but they talk about all the different characteristics of the glass and which models to get, which ones not to get, which ones are meh, which ones are great, and do that. That'll help. Let's see here. Because that's where I learned about the N glass. Let me just type in. No matches for 28, so maybe it's 25? Really wide. No? 25. I swear it's 28. No, definitely not 25. I'm pretty sure it's not 24. Now there are some 24s. Those are fish eyes. That just tells you right there. A 24 on a medium is a fish eye. There is a 35 or 32. Yeah, there's a 35. Yeah, there's a 35 for that's a little expensive. That's a Secor C. That's $250. Yeah, lots. Let's see, Scott. I think you should use Insta's live function where you can call others and get them into your stream. Well, I mean, if I can actually get the computer to work properly where I'm encoding and I'm finding out that it's not my internet connection, but rather this, then I may do that because that's something I've always wanted. Simon, who was on here before, I've wanted to have him call in many, many times, and it'd be cool to do that. So I'm going to make it my mission, probably Sunday, to start working about bringing a computer over here and getting it to work. See if it'll work for me, because I'm dropping frames like crazy. So if you see a bunch of live streams pop up for me, and I just say testing, then you'll understand what I'm doing, and you can join in and let me know how it looks at least. But it's been 2 hours. So anybody have any other questions before I jump out of here? I want to get a margarita and a cigar going. Happy to answer. I'll give like 15, 20 seconds for you to type. Gerald, I can't believe you had me surfing the web. You told me not to. The history one is still being made. Not so Australia, the great sand level drop in a couple of months. I got you. Okay. Yeah, Tony has a lot of podcasts coming. They're all very, very good. So pay attention to that one. I understand, Tony. These were 2 great hours. Well, Lewis, thank you. I was glad I could help you in any way that I can. As always, tell everyone about this channel. Tell them to subscribe. I want to get past. Where are we at now on subscribers? We are at 1,972. I'd like to see 2,000 here by the end of the weekend. Everybody up for the challenge? Tell all your friends. Go subscribe, but make sure they're filmmakers because they'll just unsubscribe. But I've been loving this growth of this channel, and just all of you have all been wonderful. It's been great to interact with all of you, and just kind of I don't even want to say coach, because I don't feel like I'm a coach. I just feel like I'm an encourager and a helper that helps, because I learn just as much from everybody else as I teach. So, I can't do this without you all. But yeah, tell everybody. Ooh, yes, the thunderstorm. Dustin, I actually know, and you're talking about the one he shot with the Phantom Vision. That is phenomenal. He did that for NAB for last year. Yeah, it's awesome. How did you get a boost with this? Did I get a boost? Yes, I did. I got a little over 100 subs out of that. That was really nice. I enjoyed that. And I've been working with Jordy for, I would say, 3 months or so, maybe 4 months. It was right after he got his red. I reached out to him and started helping him with it, because he knows what he's doing. He's no dummy at all. But there's some learning curves into the red, and I was just kind of helping him. I didn't expect anything out of it. I'm not in it for the fame. I'm in it for the friends. Just making friends out there. If I had 0 subscribers and a lot of friends, I'd be happy. I got no problem with that. I consider all of you my friends. So it's, what about My Road Reel? Those are good. Join those. Do those. Those are a lot of fun. They're getting huge. That's the problem with those, is that you're in like a pool of 10,000 people submitting. But try it, There's nothing wrong with trying it. But yeah. Yeah. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments down below. I think there's comments on live streams. As you know, I do have a Patreon. If any of y'all want to support me with Patreon, I appreciate that. It really helps. It helps me buy vintage lenses that I can turn around and tell you how to buy. It just helps a little bit. Let's see. You're already subscribing, but if you have been watching this entire 2 hours and you haven't subscribed, click that subscription button. And as I always like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.